What's going on, you guys? The Demigod back on Demigod ENT, and today I'm bringing you another movie review. Now, of course, we are here today to discuss Sony's brand new Marvel film, Morbius. Now, I say that specifically because I do not want to put any of the blame on this movie, on the MCU, on Marvel, because of course they have nothing to do with this. This is all Sony's mess here, and with that opening line right there, you could probably already tell how I feel about this film. However, we are going to discuss it. We are going to get into it, so let's go ahead and jump right into this movie review, man. So, Jared Leto is the star of this film, right? He plays Dr. Morbius, and I'll start this by saying Jared Leto is actually a very good actor. He's existed in Hollywood for a very long time. He's in some of my favorite movies. For example, he plays Paul Allen inside American Psycho, one of my favorite movies of all time. And with that being said, man, Jared Leto is not very good inside this movie. He has no good lines of dialogue, no good acting scenes or anything like this. There's nothing impressive about his performance inside of this film. And again, he's a good actor. So like, I don't want to put the blame on Jared Leto because I feel like it's not his fault. I feel like this is just the script in the studio and etc, etc. However, Jared Leto is not very good in this movie, man. He's not. I personally like him as Joker in Suicide Squad 2016 much better than I like him inside this movie. I find him way more entertaining for the like 20 minutes he's in that movie than the entirety of this film. And as you know, Suicide Squad is not a highly critically acclaimed film or anything of the sort. So it's just kind of crazy, man. I mean, I really feel like they just wasted Jared Leto's potential inside of here. Now, in terms of the supporting cast, I'm not specific on any of their names or anything other than Tyrese inside of this movie. All of the supporting cast is pretty much useless inside of this movie. There's like no other good characters inside of this movie. In fact, I would honestly say there's no good characters at all inside of this film. The antagonist inside of this movie, it's supposed to be someone Morbius has like this brotherly bond with. However, they never exactly show how they end up having this bond other than them having and suffering from the same condition. But as far as I'm aware, they spent very little time together as far as what this movie has to say. Slight spoilers, by the way. I just want to really dive into here and really cut this movie deep, man. So like I was saying, in terms of their development as a brotherly relationship, they spend very little time together, and then Morbius goes off to college for like 9-10 years. Like, what? How are they so close? If he meets him later in life, they don't grow up together. He meets him later in life, and then he leaves, and then comes back, and they're somehow like best buds, best friends, like brothers. This makes no sense. It really doesn't. And man, the dialogue inside of here, absolutely atrocious, terrible. Some of the worst one-liners I've ever heard inside of a comic book movie. Some of the worst lines I've ever heard inside a movie in general, to be completely honest with you. Like, for example, one scene inside of this movie, obviously Morbius is a vampire, right? One scene inside of this movie, he quotes the Incredible Hulk, and he says this line dead serious. He says, "I'm starting to get hungry. You won't like me when I'm hungry." What? This man, what are they doing here? He also has a line, you've seen it in the trailer, I might slide it into this review, where he does the "I am Venom" line when someone asks who he is.
Who the hell are you, man?
I am Venom.
Like, what is going on here? They don't even establish Venom as being a thing in this world. He's not on the news, he's not in the papers, he has no press around him, absolutely nothing. He's across the country in San Francisco. This movie takes place in New York, yet he's delivering Venom lines as this like, oh yeah, we already know. Like, what? No, this movie, man, this movie was a rough experience. It really was. And by the way, I went to see this film with a ton of friends. There was a bigger turnout for this movie in terms of me going with friends than like an Avengers Endgame, which is absolutely insane. And yeah, afterwards, we all sat around a table and had a very long discussion about this film. So I've racked over pretty much everything, all my thoughts and opinions about this movie, man. I have it all collected, and I'm just excited to be bringing it to you guys. So let's just go ahead and continue here. Another problem with this film is the pace. The pace inside of this movie, it starts off so fast. It feels like they just can't wait to get Morbius and have him obtain his power inside of this movie, because of course he's just a scientist. He starts off as a regular guy. Very similar theme with a lot of these comic book stuff, but I love comics, so I let that slide. But yeah, man, he starts off regular scientist inside of here, and they're just moving at a rapid pace. I mean, you're flying through this movie. It seems like you're watching like a highlight montage of just the highlights that they wanted you to see. Like, for example, he turns himself into a vampire, okay? So he's doing all of these like scientific experiments and all these sorts of things, right? However, he's flawless. He has no trial and error whatsoever. Almost like every single thing we get to see him do inside of this film, he succeeds at. Every science experiment, every idea, every hypothesis, it's flawless. No trial and error, which is a very common thing with science. If you've ever, taken a high school science class, you would know that this is a flawless scientist. And I understand he's very good at what he does. He's one of the best at what he does, but it's almost comical how just great he is, right? It's absolutely ridiculous in terms of how we end up getting to his powers and how fast it is there. And then once he gets his powers, I will say, the film slows down a little bit. It plays out a little bit more. And then we get to the third act and things just take, they take off and we're just flying. We are flying like we're driving down the highway inside of this movie. Like, this film has such a rapid pace. It just wants to get to where it's going so bad, and it doesn't care if things aren't making sense along the way. Now, another problem inside of here, the antagonist, I mentioned him a little bit earlier, and the reason I mentioned him earlier is because I want to expand upon his character. Now, our antagonist inside of this film, like I said, someone he's supposed to have this brotherly bond with, whatever, they try to play it up for the movie, it doesn't work. Now, another thing that doesn't work inside of here with the antagonist is how laughably villainous he is inside of this film. Like, he is the most stereotypical comic villain you've ever seen in your life. There's no setup for him being a villain other than him having the same condition as Morbius. However, after Morbius has this transformation, he maintains all his good morality inside of here. The other dude, he just seems like kind of like this normal guy. Again, a brother to Morbius. At least they try to play it up like that. And once he obtains his power inside of this film to become the antagonist, again, I said slight spoilers. I'm not sure if they revealed that in the trailer. He's just the biggest, baddest villain you've ever met. Like, this dude is the scum of the earth as soon as he obtains his power. Like, what? All of his character elements just go out the window and suddenly he's just the biggest bad guy the world has ever seen. Like, this dude's more evil than Thanos. Thanos, he had a whole setup. You can understand him. Thanos is an actually solid villain. It's not fair to compare this villain to Thanos, to be completely honest with you, but at least, have some sort of setup as to why he is so bad, why he's so villainous. All they show is like one scene of him. They show one scene of him being bullied as a kid. Like, he got a note taken from him and he had like a mental breakdown. And that's all they show. In his adulthood, he seems completely normal other than being like this lazy type of guy, who has a caretaker doing everything for him. He just turned into the biggest villain. He murders his father figure. Spoiler alert. Like I said, there are spoilers inside this review. He murders his father figure with absolutely no remorse. Like, this is the guy who took care of you because you had a disability since you were like 8-10 years old. And he's continued to take care of you into like your mid-20s. And you just murder him? And like other people inside this movie too. Like, this makes no sense, man. This film is a huge disappointment. It really is. And I'm not as disappointed with this film as I was with Venom 2, to be honest with you, even though I think this is a worse movie than that. And the reason I'm not as disappointed is because going into this film, I didn't have high expectations. I didn't have any expectations. Quite honestly, I might have even had lower expectations because of everything we were hearing about this movie before walking in. But I still gave this movie a fair shot. I still sat down with a clear head and watched it. Quite honestly, I don't want to see bad movies. I was hoping this movie would win me over, even if it wasn't winning anyone else over. But no, it did the opposite of that. And that's tough, man. It really is. And I feel like I've covered almost everything I want to say about this film. I know I'm missing a few things because there's a lot in here that's not done very well. And yeah, man, I don't know. Honestly, Morbius doesn't deserve any more of my time. After I drop this review, I'll forget about this movie in a few days, maybe even by tomorrow. To be completely honest with you, I just seen the film last night. I almost woke up and completely forgot about it. But there you have it right there, man. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a rating for this movie because I love to establish a numerical value for the films that I watch for whatever reason, And so with that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and give Morbius, actually, when I walked out of this film, I had it sitting at a 4 out of 10. Now that I thought about this movie more and I had, like I said, a full discussion with my friends after this, a long, very long discussion about this film after I watched it, I'm gonna go ahead and rate Morbius a 3 out of 10. It gets the 3 out of 10, the lowest rated film on my channel. Congratulations, Morbius. You made it to Demigod ENT. You got your official review. and sadly were trash. So if you can't already tell, man, do not go see this movie. Whatever you do, do not spend your hard-earned money on this film. If you are that much of like a Marvel fanboy and a Sony Marvel fanboy to be specific, because there's a difference. If you're an MCU fanboy, you know I still have a level of respect for you, because at least the MCU is overall, at the very least, the very lowest of an MCU film is average, in my opinion. And then from average, you know, it continues to go up. The very low for a Sony film is very low, extremely low. So if you're a Sony fanboy and you just need to see this, go ahead and see this, I guess. But I'm telling you right now, I don't recommend you waste your money on this film. I don't recommend you support this film at the box office. I do not want this film to have a successful box office, because it's going to tell Sony, people like it, let's keep making more of these. I don't want to see any more of these, bro. I want to see some good movies, man. We could have got Morbius, and this could have been a fire movie. Very easily a comic book vampire starring Jared Leto. Come on, man. This could have very easily been a dope movie, but it wasn't. And hey, that's just what it is, man. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this movie review. Those are my thoughts on this film. If you enjoyed it, man, let me know that down in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on this film down in the comment section down below. If you don't know what I do here on Demigod ENT, I do show the reactions, movie reviews, movie news, and unboxing videos. If you're interested in any of that, in the right place, man, hit subscribe, hit the like button. I drop multiple videos a week on my channel so that you can expect out of me. And if you don't already know, I am the Demigod, the chosen one, here on Demigod ENT. By the way, man, I got more movie reactions, commentaries, and reviews coming very soon. I know you guys love those types of videos. They've been doing very well on my channel. I appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting from you guys. This channel is a little over 1,600 subscribers right now. We came a long way in a very short amount of time, and we're only going to get bigger and better. As you could tell, if you've ever, you know, watched the beginning video on my channel, we've expanded quite a lot here, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop it, man. We're going to keep growing. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I am the Demigod, the chosen one, here on Demigod ENT, and I'm out of this thing, man. Hope you all appreciated this one. Peace.